everyone, I wanted to come and share with you my pregnancy update. I'm going to be going over weeks 14, 15, and 16 today. First off, in week 14, let's see, I'm checking my notes real quick. Okay, so some of these symptoms I've been feeling throughout these 3 weeks. So I'll just go ahead and mention all that once instead of saying it 3 times for each week. So I've been feeling round ligament pain, specifically when I'm laying down in bed. And if I happen to cough or sneeze, I'll feel that ligament pain right in my belly on either side, typically on the same side that I'm laying on. So if I'm laying on my left-hand side, then I'll feel the left ligament kind of tense or overstretch, or just that pain when cough or sneeze, or if I just try to sit straight up if I'm laying on my back and I try to sit straight up from a back position, I'll feel it in both sides. So what I need to do now is, instead of sitting straight up from my back, I need to roll over to the side and then sit up from the side, basically, to alleviate some of that pain, that round ligament pain that I feel occasionally. It's not all the time. I've maybe felt it a total of 3 or 4 times throughout the last 3 weeks, so it's not that bad. I have been forgetful these past couple weeks, definitely forgetful. I experienced that occasionally before the 14th week, but definitely in these last 3 weeks it has increased, where I'll just completely forget stuff, either immediately, like what I'm doing right now. I'll walk to the room and I'll immediately forget what I'm doing. I don't know, it just, pregnancy brain, it's real. I've also been feeling moody. My husband will confirm this, definitely. I'm not so bad where I'm biting everyone's head off all the time, but I do notice I'm more moody when I'm hungry. But definitely moody the past few weeks. I have, since week 15, actually no, that's not true. Since about week 13 when I got sick, I was congested because I was sick, but it's never really went away. I still feel a little congested, either my sinuses are stuffed and I still have to blow my nose constantly, even 3 weeks after having that 2-day flu or whatever bug I had that had a high fever and all that. And also sometimes I still feel I constantly have to clear my throat. I feel like there's something there, but it's not. I apologize for the noise from my kids. I don't think they know I'm in here doing a video. But anyways, I constantly feel like I have to clear my throat. I have continued to still feel heavy in the belly. I'm still working out, so that is definitely helping. I'm at the end of my week 16, and I'm at 144.4 pounds, and I started at 140 pounds. So I'll be 5 months starting tomorrow, which is week 17, and I'm still under 5 pounds gained, which I think is good, because if you guys have been following my pregnancy vlogs, I started pregnant overweight. So I don't need to gain a lot of weight with the pregnancy, so long as I am gaining and I am healthy, which I am. But I am still working out. I'm going to my Insanity class Monday and Tuesday, and occasionally Wednesdays if my husband teaches on Wednesday as well. And I'm staying active at home. So that's definitely helping with not gaining excess weight, unnecessary weight. Of course I need to gain weight, obviously, but I don't want to gain unnecessary excess weight that will only make it harder for me later to lose once I have the baby, because already starting overweight is going to be hard to lose that weight anyways. I have noticed specifically this week that when I talk constantly for any certain amount of time, I'm starting to feel a little winded. And you can probably hear it and see it on me now, where I feel a little bit winded now just talking for the past between 3 to 5 minutes, however long I've been talking so far. Yeah, this one's a little embarrassing to admit, but it happens. And if you've ever been pregnant before, I think you will understand. Occasionally when you're pregnant or you're a new mom and you sneeze, cough, laugh, or jump, you will basically have to cross your legs, because it is possible to have a tiny accident. So as embarrassing and as gross as that is, it happens, and it's not that bad. I have experienced it worse with previous pregnancies, especially my last son, who's now 6 years old, so 7 years ago, because I was not working out that pregnancy. I got pregnant with him when his brother right before him was only 6 weeks old, so it was a back-to-back pregnancy, and that incident was worse. But the working out and being healthier this pregnancy is helping with that, but it still occasionally happens, and I'll just have to go and change and clean up or whatever. Sometimes it's not really bad, but it's just gross. But good symptoms of pregnancy, and I'm sorry if I keep making gross sounds. I can't help it. I feel like there's a frog in my throat. It's weird. Anyways, back to the good symptoms. My skin has been clearer. Thank God. My nails are still strong and growing fast. However, I did cut them. I remember I showed you guys in one of my other updates where they were out to here. I did cut them, and the reason for that was 2 reasons, really. This one was already the shortest, and it broke again, even shorter. So I decided to file it and then just cut them all basically right at at my fingertip. But the second reason, and more importantly, is because I am starting to have a few more massage clients and regular, consistent appointments with them. So having the really long nails, I don't cut them or anything like that, but it makes it harder for me to use my fingers to properly massage. Because of the nails being so long, I have to figure out another way to feel what I'm doing. So I felt like in order for me to do my best work, I would be better off with shorter nails, not so long, even though I love the long nails. But I figure I have to get used to them kind of short anyway, because when baby comes, I definitely can't have those really long nails and risk scratching the baby or anything like that. Okay, last good. Whew. I feel like I just did an exercise. Last good pregnancy symptom. My hair is so much less oily. I normally wash my hair twice a week, but I notice that, 2 to 3 times a week, but I noticed that with the pregnancy, especially now, first off, I have less hair falling out, which I know is going to mean that once the baby's born, I'm going to be losing hair like crazy. But I've noticed that I don't necessarily have to wash my hair those 2 to 3 times every week. I can do it the once a week, and it's not greasy. So I washed my hair maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and it still looks like, for me, day 2 hair. So I don't have to wash it as often, which is awesome, because I hate washing my hair every other day or every other 2 days. It's just annoying to then let it dry out and restyle it if I'm gonna style it with a flat iron or whatever. So that's a good thing. That is basically my symptom. Wait, oh my gosh, I forgot. There was something else that I had just remembered in my head a few seconds ago and told myself I'll mention it at the end, and then I forgot. See what happens when you don't write stuff down immediately? I got my planner and pen here and everything, but since I'm already talking, I figured it'll stay there, but yeah, it's gone. Let me read over my notes real quick and see if it jogs my memory, and if not, I will probably mention it next week. Okay, I can't remember it, but I did remember that I'm still going consistent with the not wanting junk food, specifically like cakes and stuff. Crackers or cookies occasionally, but I don't really want like that thick cake or those kind of sweets. I love cakes and crackers and cookies and all kinds of junk food, that's me. But lately, anytime I'm offered like a cake or a cookie, or even if I feel like, oh, that sounds good, I want a cookie, but then I go to grab it and I like go to put it, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want that. It's like something like makes me feel like that's gonna like feel thick and gross in your mouth, and just no, I just don't want it. No. So I guess that's a good thing too. But I have been wanting pickles more lately, and I love pickles normally, but I don't eat them often or really at all. We always have pickles because the boys like pickles, I like pickles. But lately I have noticed that I will definitely want to eat a pickle at least once every like 2 to 3 days. And then if I do eat a pickle on one of those days, I'll usually end up wanting another one that same day. So it's kind of weird. It's not like a craving where I'm craving it before I even have it, but it's more like if I have it, then I'll want it again kind of thing. So that's kind of weird, but I'm not really having any cravings where I don't have that food and I'm craving it, so I have to go get it. But if I just happen to eat something, and then I'll just want it more. But I will say though that it's not necessarily a craving, but more of a stronger preference for lately. Steak and fries. Steak and fries, definitely. Grilled steak and baked fries. Not fried, like greasy fries, like baked French fries and grilled steak. I love steak naturally, but lately, like if I'm gonna have steak, or even now my husband's grilling some steak and some beef ribs, the beef, if it's like that steak beef flavor, I want fries with it. But also not only the fries, I want barbecue sauce instead of ketchup with the fries. So that's kind of a weird thing for me. Like that's just what I want to eat together. And it's not a craving, but it's more of like a strong preference. Whenever I have steak, I also want fries with barbecue sauce. So that's it. Let's see. In the last video, which I took forever to upload, and I apologize, you should have seen the baby doing a headstand. This week, I did have a doctor appointment. All they did was stick my arm and took a little bit of blood to do the some kind of screening, genetic screening for spina bifida. I didn't get a call back from the doctor, which means that's good news. So they said if they don't call back, then it's usually because there was nothing to report. So it was good news. But anyways, I will also talk to my doctor about that at the next visit. And the next visit I have will be in 2 weeks, and that will be for the anatomy scan, which is to tell the sex of the baby, but we will not be finding out that week because I will not know. I'm going to ask them to keep it secret and put the picture with the results in an envelope sealed, and we are going to do a reveal party with family and close friends, and we will record so you guys will find out maybe the following day after we find out. And I'm not sure yet, but I might do a name reveal when we find out if it's a boy or a girl, because we already know the name either way. We're weird like that. We're like, we knew we had baby names picked out like from the time the last baby was born. We're like, if we ever have another baby, this is what we're gonna name it, if it's a boy or if it's a girl. Yeah, so anyways, that is it for real this time. I'm going to show you my belly, and then I'm winded, so I'm going to go, and I'm probably going to eat a pickle now because I was talking about pickles. So yeah, here's the belly. Okay, so I'm wearing a kind of like a flowy dress here. So this is the front. I'm right here. Here is how I look from the front, which you can't tell too much. If I pull my dress back, you can see a little better. So you can definitely see that there's some belly there now. You see? Now from the side, you can see my baby belly. If I was wearing pants, I wouldn't mind showing my actual skin, but I mean, you can see it either way with the clothes, with the fabric over. So there's my belly, other side. And I am 16 weeks and 6 days today. Alright guys, so I was thinking that since my symptoms are so consistent every week to 3 or so weeks, it didn't really make much sense for me to come in front of camera every single week because I'll be saying the same thing and you won't see much of a difference in my belly. So I'm thinking it might be better for me to come in front of camera every 2, at the most 3 weeks. I'm going to try to do it every 2, but if I get really busy with homeschool and stuff or just life in general, then it might be hard for me to keep a rigid schedule. And I hate promising that, I'm going to upload every week or every 2 weeks and be so rigid and then not do it, and then I just feel like a liar. So the next update will be before the gender reveal with some symptoms, and then the one following that will most likely be the reveal party where we find out, and then in turn you find out what it is we're having, and we may reveal the name at that time, but we may not. So I'm not 100% sure on the name part, when we're going to reveal the name yet. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for this video being a little bit longer. I did have a little bit more to cover, being that I was covering 3 weeks instead of 1, but if you did stick with me to the end, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.